Hello and welcome to Animated Wonders, an Explosion Network podcast where we celebrate animation in all of its forms. This is Animated Wonders. In this season, we'll be discussing all the films in the Despicable Me and Minions franchise. Hello, my name's Blight, and joining me to discuss this week's Animated Wonder, Minions and Monsters, is Ashley Hobley.
Dylan, I'm excited to be here to talk about how important to cinema history the Minions are.
Yeah, I didn't know personally, so this movie was
informative.
I feel like I know a little bit about cinema history, but it wasn't until this movie that I felt like what you must have felt like when you discovered Jaws. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I filled in
Big
gap. You know, so that was good. Minions or monsters?
Minions and monsters.
No, but like Minions or monsters.
I mean, Minions.
Okay, just so I get that there. Minions and Monsters is directed by Pierre Coffin and Patrick Delage, written by Pierre Coffin and Brian Lynch. Synopsis follows the Minions in 1920s Hollywood as they search for frightening creatures for their monster movie, partner with a green creature, and must save the planet after unleashing monsters. The cast, of course, Pierre Coffin voices all of the Minions, as always. We then had Zoe Deutsch, Alison Janney, Bobby Mollyhagen, Jesse Eisenberg, Jeff Bridges, Christoph Waltz, and chuck it in, George Lucas. Crazy as that is to say. Ash, what did you think of Minions and Monsters?
I had a good time. I think this is one of the more enjoyable entries in the series. I think I just kind of appreciate how they chose to tackle this version, where they've got their retrofitting history to fit the Minions within the history of cinema in the 1920s, and I think they've got some really fun ideas that I like the idea of weaving them into cinema history. I like the idea that there were big hits in the time of silent film, but as soon as talkies started coming, they were fucked because they can't talk. So it is kind of genius. But I feel like it sets up all this stuff, and then the ultimate, I think the third act just kind of fizzles out. It's like, we've got a massive monster that's going to take over everything, and then it's just, okay, this random side character we introduced is going to help solve everything. That's how it's all resolved. So, but I had a good time. I think there's some fun slapstick. There's fun, fun. I think there's some solid messages in there. Like there's no clear theme for this film. I think it's like, no clear message. Just a bunch of fun ideas thrown all together. So I thought it was solid.
I enjoyed it. I would totally agree with you, though. I think that the movie was at its best when it was sort of just having what happens when we sort of chuck a bunch of Minions into Hollywood and shenanigans ensue, rather than literal monsters come to life, and now we're going to make sure we have a big set piece sort of final act of the movie for them to do. I was like, it could have just been shenanigans the whole time, and that was fun. I mean, the big bad of the movie, they already you didn't need the monsters. The big bad of the movie was microphones. Really? Was that not enough of a hurdle? Like a big
I mean, the real big bads are the cinema bosses, like they are currently. So
yeah,
cinema executives who didn't believe,
these two
people of the
Weinstein
days
brothers
would just be on board with the Minions saying nonsense.
Yeah, it's very true. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I definitely agree that I sort of zoned out in that third act a bit more. I could feel my attention was waning once we got once they started collecting the monsters, which is weird because obviously we knew what the movie was sort of roughly about based on the trailers, and we knew it was called Minions and Monsters and everything. But then you're watching it and it takes a while to get to the monsters part, and I was enjoying it as was, and then we add in the monsters. I'm like, I don't really need the monsters. Maybe I just needed Minions take Hollywood as the movie,
Mhm.
rather than go down that road. I think the most interesting, I guess, directional change from the previous Minions movies for this one was we change our Minion stars. So we have James and Henry now instead of our regular Bob and I remember of Bob, whatever. Yeah, anyway, Bob and the other two. The ones that the three main ones that are Gru sidekicks sort of group. James and Henry, who are the opening of the movie really just sets these two as like they're the daydreaming creatives over here in this group of very one-minded, focused.
Singular focused.
Yeah.
Need a big boss, and that's all they really want. And we do once again get a fun montage of other big bosses have attempted to work for, including I think the Cyclops might be my favorite of those, just because of how James messes it up for him. In the I don't know
Lego
1 or 200s inventing Legos, which gets stuck in his so that's a good time.
Yeah, that's a good joke. Just being like, yep, even against the Cyclops, the invention of Lego is enough to take down the giant,
Yeah.
Also, it's worth pointing out, we're about to be in a world where there's going to be a weird connective fabric between the Odyssey starting in a couple of weeks post this, and this will still be in cinemas, and they're both going to have Cyclops in it.
Yeah.
So, there you go. Who'd have thought that would happen? Who'd have thought there'd be a world where Minions and Christopher Nolan are sharing some sort of connective fabric. Yeah. Nonetheless. But yeah, I enjoyed James and Henry. I enjoyed that. I think it's almost a testament to the combination of the voice performances or the voice direction and subtlety differences. And I'll give some credit in a film where the writing isn't, it's meant to be silly, it's meant to be lighthearted. And I think Illumination have sort of just committed to this thing where they're like, if Pixar's and Disney are over there doing animated movies for kids with a message, we're just committed to dumb fun and fart jokes. And that's fine when it works, when it's good. I fully, we've talked about and watched all these movies now, and usually the problem isn't that they're committed to silly, childlike fun. It's just sometimes childlike fun can be done bad, and sometimes it can be done better than others. But I thought James and Henry stood out different enough to Bob and cohorts. These little yellow guys have enough personality differences between them. So, but the thing I enjoyed most about this one, I think, is its fun Hollywood cinema history jokes and references.
Yes,
all of which are going to go completely over the heads of its target audience. But I still found a lot of fun. I mean, that starts right from the get-go of the movie, where it rewinds through all of the Universal logos and everything.
Yeah.
All the way back to the 1920s where it takes place, and then the references we get to stuff even at the start, of course, the George Lucas in a box thing, which is actually George Lucas, which is just the weirdest. I would love to know the story of how they got that to happen.
Apparently he's a fan.
Okay.
It's as simple as that.
Okay. Because George Lucas doesn't do anything for no one,
No. So
it's like,
he took his Star Wars money and went and, chilled out. Well, what's the last thing you worked on?
Yeah.
Don't know.
Nothing.
No. So
when that happened, I was like, that sounds so much like George. Like, whoever that impersonator is, really good job. And then sitting in the credits, I'm like, George Lucas is George Lucas.
Yeah.
Wild.
No.
Good on
I
him.
believe in the original version of Return of the Jedi, the Ewoks were meant to wear overalls. So that's why.
That would explain everything, actually.
Yeah.
So that was very good. And all the Keanu Reeves and all these, like, the movie was having fun at the start. And I was like, oh, this is a bit of fun.
I'm like, wow, they got all these properties. Like,
yeah.
They signed off on it. You know?
The ET. I mean, obviously, they got George Lucas. They get ET. I guess he's like, I'll get Spielberg to agree to whatever you want. Yeah. But then it's the stuff that got me that I was like, wow, we're going like in hard references to stuff here that kids just won't get. Is like we get all the way. I mean, even from the start when they're on the train and they drive through the Hollywood at the start, and it's like the train's going towards the screen. I'm like, well, that's obviously to reference the train. The short film.
The Charlie Chaplin film.
Yeah. And then we got a Charlie Chaplin reference. I can't remember which one it was, but there was another film there. Then you've got the moon. They're
doing this montage of all the different things. They've got the classic moon short film, like one of the earliest ever things.
Yeah.
And it's the minion's face instead of the human's face.
Instead of the human face, yeah. Who's it? What's actually? It's a George Méliès film or whatever. Because I only remember that from
To the Moon or something like that.
A Trip to the Moon. Yeah,
Trip to the Moon.
By George Méliès. Yeah. Which again, shout outs. All these things I know are from Hugo. Like literally, Hugo is like such a pivotal movie.
Yeah.
Underrated. Love the movie. Read the book. Loved it. Yeah, so they get that reference. I was like, oh, that's funny. Then they do fucking red rosebud and like drop the. Well, they don't actually say rosebud, but
well, they tried to.
They tried to do it, but yeah, they do Citizen Kane, which is just. I'm like, I can't believe we're doing it. Citizen Kane fart joke.
Yeah.
Sure. I can't say I've ever seen someone do a Citizen Kane fart joke before, but here we are.
Here we are in the present.
So that was good fun. I can't remember if there was other references off the top of my head, but there was. Well,
the one that stuck out to me was like, obviously, it is this weird rags to riches to rags story, but like, there's a scene where they're like talking about how the minions have found great success and they're throwing this extravagant party in their mansion. You know. And it's like, this is one of the wildest parties. And at one point, I believe like an elephant comes across the screen. I'm like, I know what Dylan's going to say.
Oh, yeah. It exactly looks like Babylon, yeah.
Yeah, without all the drugs. And
without all the drugs
sex,
and sex and nudity, yeah. But I did. I don't know if it was meant to be a reference, but you are correct that when I saw that, it did make me think of Babylon and how underrated that movie is and how more people should give it a chance. And it's actually one of the best movies of the last 10 years. There you go.
Cool.
Thank you. I was just looking, by the way. So apparently, I was just looking at the trivia on IMDb. It says George Lucas's first cameo in a film since Star Wars Episode 3. I don't know what his cameo was in that, but anyway, that's the first thing he's done for when Revenge that came out like what 2005. So 20 years ago. Wow. Any other thoughts on Minions and Monsters?
Can we talk about DORT and that whole crazy storyline?
I mean,
it's so bizarre. I also kind of appreciate it, where we get introduced to this character who is at the first ever sci-fi convention, and we think they are pretending to be an alien or robot of some sort.
Yeah.
And all the hints that we get along the way are that they are pretending to be
wearing a helmet or something.
Yeah, wearing a helmet. If it look like they've got arms or whatever, they've got an apartment, they've got a roommate, they've got a person across the road that they kind of keep happy, but they keep this thing up. The minions are following along with them, thinking they're big boss because it seems like they've accidentally taken out a bunch of dudes in front of the sci-fi convention. He proceeds to then fall in love with a woman who is part of the women's rights movement, which is crazy to have in this movie. And then he gets the minions to start chanting women's rights.
Not very villainy.
Not very villainy, but, unless, I guess they're going against the social norms of the time. I guess that is kind of villainous, They have a love montage.
Yeah. G-rated.
Also, voiced by Jesse Eisenberg, one of the, serious actors at the moment,
Yep.
Hasn't really ventured back into the realm of comedies outside of Zombieland, I guess. Now You See Me is kind of, a little bit more comedic. But then, yes, it is turned out that this guy that we thought was pretending to be an alien actually is an alien and has a slew of spaceships.
Yep.
So,
is a random ass B plot or C plot, whatever you want to call it.
I don't know. Apparently, based on DORT from The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Yeah, okay.
Is the reference.
That would make sense, I guess. Yeah.
It's a parody of that.
Yeah.
So, I kind of like it in the end. I think it's a fun.
I kind of liked it, and then with the reveal that it wasn't all like when it was they commit and be like, no, he's actually an alien. But it was similar to what we talked about recently, where it kept being like, why are we cutting away? It's similar to Toy Story 5, where it kept being like, why are we? Like, this just seems weird. I know the minions are there, and that, but I'm like, they're not our minions that were actually the stars of the movie. So it did feel a little bit like we were cutting away.
What is the name of the dick? It is Dick. That is a solid joke.
Yeah. Dick. Yeah.
Dick.
Yep.
And somebody calls him Richard. It's like, no, it's Dick.
It's Dick, yeah.
That's good. I will say it was good to hear Christoph Waltz in something. It's been a while since I've seen him in everything. I thought he was pretty solid as Max.
Sounds like Christoph Waltz is Christoph Waltz, yeah.
Yeah, it did, Yeah. I mean, it took a while for me to click who it actually was, but...
the movie, the cinema, like, it's just the way he pronounced it, yeah.
Pronounces words. And then I guess if we want to touch on the monster stuff, it was fine. You could totally see, like, it was like a little too unsubtle, like what his plan was, like straight off the bat. So yeah, I mean...
Yeah, I think the end all for this one is the fact that we don't really care to even talk about the monster stuff, and I don't really have much to say about it either. It just goes to show that the movie called Ninjas and Monsters, the monsters part is by far the least interesting aspect of the movie.
I mean, the little cute Cthulhu design is very nice. I enjoyed it. I think it looks good. I'm sure they're going to sell toys and that kind of stuff. And then my only other dumb joke is the spell undo words being Command Z. Very silly.
Again, just a joke that kids won't get, but yes, very silly.
They won't get until they're a little bit older and they have a Mac.
No, they'll just be using AI for anything. They're not going to be setting anything. They'll just be talking to the computer.
Siri, undo that last thing I did.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's concerning.
Concerning and true. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Animated Wonders. Let us know what you thought of the film on social media at explosionnetwork.com/follow. If you enjoyed the show, you can find more podcasts, reviews, and pop culture coverage over at explosionnetwork.com. And if you'd like to support the podcast and Explosion Network, head on over to explosionnetwork.com/support. Until the next episode, remember that animation is cinema.